Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
Well, how about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 246 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. And a reminder for our fantastic viewers on Instagram, if you want to join in the comments, if you want to join in the conversation, head over to YouTube and Facebook because Instagram doesn't allow comments to come through our stream provider. So we want to get you involved in the conversation. So join us on YouTube or Facebook, also live right now.
Finally. How about that cigar is back?
We're back. We hope everyone here in the States had a fantastic Memorial Day holiday last Monday night. It was rainy basically here. You know, it really wasn't very, it was just kind of dull and rainy, but still a good time. We had family over, actually not on Monday. We had family over on Sunday. But it was, it was nice. And, but yeah, if you guys are, on with us live right now, let us know as always in the comments what you're smoking, what you're drinking. We have a great special guest coming up in a few minutes. And for the audio podcast listeners, guys, thanks so much for listening to How About That Cigar on your favorite audio podcast platform. We really do appreciate it. Here in the Corona Cigar Studios, it is definitely time that we say hello to our incredible producer, Justy Smoke. Brother, what is cracking?
What is going down, guys?
What up, dude?
Not the humidity. The humidity is not going down.
No, he's not going down. Temperature's going up.
Yeah.
And black soldier flies everywhere.
Yeah. Basically, there's little black fly dots.
Yeah. It's all gone. We cleaned it up.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
Insect frass is good fertilizer.
It is good fertilizer, but it's it's the drawback living just so close to a horse and cattle farm. We get a shit ton of flies, but
we're not here to talk about flies.
We're not here to talk about flies. No, absolutely.
We're here to talk. I got to figure something out.
Oh, wait, what are you doing, Raul?
So since we were last on live with you guys, we were really hopeful for the Timberwolves, man, and Dallas just smoked them in the NBA playoffs. The Dallas ended up winning the Western Conference, and so now Dallas and Boston. I just don't see how Dallas is going to stand up to Boston. Boston's been incredible all season long. They had the best record in the NBA. Here's the only thing. See, I mentioned this when I was talking about the series between Dallas and Minnesota. I mentioned that Kyrie was getting old. Well, he didn't show it in the series against Minnesota. He torched the Timberwolves. Anybody they put up against him, he did great. And Luka was, of course, fantastic also. It was disappointing to see Minnesota lose, but if they can keep a good roster together for next season, it's again that whole old adage, there's always next year. But I really do believe if they can keep a solid roster again for next season, they're such a young team, they have such good talent, and if they can just get a little more discipline, a little more drive and resiliency, then I think next year they could definitely get over that hump of the conference finals and make it to the finals. I hope.
This is going to sound crazy. We need to get rid of Cat.
Well, we could get a lot of money out of that.
Let's get rid of Cat, and we'll get some younger, better role players, and let
Edwards take the lead role.
Take the lead and have this team be his.
It's possible that could be the way to go. I don't really know. They did seem to struggle with team chemistry in that Dallas series, so maybe that had something to do with it. It's really hard to say.
But let's talk about something that's really going to upset you.
What's that?
What's going to upset me?
JJ just got $140 million.
$140 million.
88 on signing and 100 guaranteed.
110 guaranteed.
What?
That really sucks
Yeah.
for your Packers.
Not really.
Oh yeah,
Not really.
it's gonna.
I mean, so Justin Jefferson is
Best wide receiver in the
probably
game.
the best wide receiver in the NFL. I'm glad the Vikings signed him to a big contract. He deserved a big contract. I'm glad he got it. But with the Vikings, they drafted JJ McCarthy as their new quarterback. It's still too soon to tell whether or not he's going to end up getting the starting spot.
He's gonna be third stringer.
You think
He's
so?
gonna sit this year.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll see, because Justin Jefferson, as good as he is, he needs somebody who
Get him
can
the ball.
who can get him the ball
Oh, for sure.
the right way.
Can we bring up something that happened in Minneapolis?
Yeah, of course.
There was a shooting last week, and we lost Officer Mitchell.
Yeah.
Jamal Mitchell, and it was tragic. He went to the victim to help him, and it was actually a shooter, and he shot him, and it was just tragic, the whole thing around. I think one other person lost his life.
Yeah, it was senseless.
other-
It was
three
just
other-
a senseless killing.
3 other people were wounded. Engine 10 was shot up. Our guys had to hide behind the engine to not get shot. So it was a tough one.
Your firefighter buddies?
Yeah, my captain actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
Yeah, ricocheted off his boot. He had steel toe boots on.
Oh, so he got shot in the foot, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
Interesting.
thoughts and prayers to all the people involved, the families who have either injured loved ones or lost a loved one, and just this kind of stuff's got to stop. And
yeah, it's got to stop.
just hoping that we can get a little more sense back in the world.
Yeah.
A little more compassion.
Something's got to give. Maybe both these future presidents will just decide not to run, and we can get some decent people in, because they both suck.
That'd be cool. I'd be all right with
I'd be
that.
cool with that.
Twins news is short. They're very mediocre. They're still hovering around the middle of the road in the American League Central. They're okay. They'll have a string of wins, and then they'll have a string of losses. And I guess a bright spot is that Royce Lewis is coming back from injury. He literally played 2 games at the beginning of the season and then got injured, and he's coming back from his injury time. So hopefully he'll be back at the form that we hope he will, because he is a factor. But now, the Yankees swept us in Minnesota a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Now we have to go to New York
And New
and
York's
face
been
the
on
Yankees.
fire lately.
And they've been
They're
on
in-
fire.
they're in
It's
first place right
and winning, any team winning against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium is a really tough thing to do. So I don't have high hopes for this, series in New York, but we'll see how it goes.
And then the Rangers got knocked out by.
Rangers got knocked out by
Florida.
the Florida Panthers.
That's just
What?
crazy.
Yeah.
Florida shouldn't have a team.
So the Florida
Too much
Panthers.
sunshine down there.
But I got to say, I'm glad that the Dallas Stars lost.
Yes.
I'm not one of those people, like, I'm a huge Green Bay Packer fan, but I don't wish for the Bears to lose or wish for the Vikings to lose.
Fair enough.
I'm a Packer fan.
But you
There's
wish
only
for
one
Dallas.
team in all of professional sports that I want to lose, and that's the Dallas Stars,
Dallas Stars.
because they stole the Minnesota North Stars from us
Oh, he's
30 plus
Yeah,
years ago, and
At least they could have done it. Was left us the name.
ran off to Dallas.
true.
So
I mean, we got the Wild, but it's the Wild.
we got the Wild, and
North
I'm
Stars.
grateful to have the Wild.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when the Minnesota North Stars moved to Dallas, that was like a knife in the heart. So
Man.
that's the only team in all of professional sports that I want them to lose.
Good to know.
So I am very glad that the Edmonton Oilers, and it's cool because Canada is so known for hockey that it's always good to have a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
I think. Anytime there's a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup final, I think it's good for hockey.
My honest belief is anything south of the Mason-Dixie shouldn't be in the World Cup.
Anywhere where
Stanley Cup.
the lakes and ponds don't freeze
Yeah,
over.
They shouldn't be. It
So-
should be all of us north.
But there are a lot of hockey fans in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, because didn't they win one a few years ago too?
It was semi-recent, I believe.
Longer than
I don't-
anything in Minnesota.
Honestly, no Minnesota team has ever won a Stanley Cup. The Dallas Stars
2 years
won a
after they
Stanley
left us,
Cup,
didn't
and it was like 4 or 5 years. It was 98 and they moved there in 93.
Okay.
So it's been a long time, but still, I want Edmonton to win. I want the Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. It's a Canadian, you know.
They were one of the original 8 teams too, weren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, I want them to win.
Yeah.
Fuck Florida.
What's going on, Pickle?
Hey, Big Pickle. Good to see you, brother. Raleigh loves Packers. Well, that's
Raleigh.
Oh, Raleigh.
He's got the green shirt on, you know.
Oh,
that's
dude.
green. That's Jets colors, you moron.
Oh, that is not Green Bay green. That is New York Jets green. That's New York Jets green.
Well, we were talking about Canadians a little bit ago, and it just like popped in my head that we might have a Canadian guest tonight.
Yeah.
I know, right? It is definitely time to get our special guest on the show. But actually, we have to do Spirit of Mystery.
Spirit of Mystery.
Brought to us by our friends at Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list, but found their way onto other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. All right, so this evening, Spirit of Mystery, in this lovely glass right here. I had a little, sniff test of the beverage earlier. It is definitely a bourbon. It smells really good.
It's an American whiskey, and it's 12-year age, batch #1.
It's got really classic, like vanilla oak, a little bit of floral, almost honey, maybe a little bit. Not like artificial honey, but like really the real deal.
Like the honey from the bees.
Let's get a little sample here.
Like the birds and the bees.
Whoa.
Is that a whoa you don't like it, or a whoa it's good?
No, that's a
Matt likey whoa. I know what that one is.
So there's a lot more complexity on the palate than there is on the nose. There's this one's intense. It seems more than your average proof. I'm going to guess it's somewhere in the 100-ish, 100 to 110 proof range. That's just a guess. There's this sweetness like brown sugar. I get a lot of that barrel charred oak, but I also get like I said, brown sugar, a little bit of funkiness, but not like Scotch funkiness, like
peaty.
Not peaty funk. It's almost like it was finished in a different kind of barrel, maybe. I can't quite tell, but it just seems like there's more going on than just but you can definitely taste that age on there. Like it's spent a lot of time in the barrel. You can really taste that. So that's a nice spirit. It's a lighter in color than normally I would expect a darker color for an older aged spirit, but that's got a really kind of milder amber color to it than a darker than I would expect from, you said it's 12-year.
Yeah.
I would expect a little more color, but the flavor is definitely coming through. So I dig it. And we will reveal that later in the show. Let's get our special guest onto the show. Finally, guys, brought to us by our friends from Drew Estate, and following the resounding success of Blackened Cigars M81 Maduro, Drew Estate announced the new Blackened S84 Shade 2 Black, wrapped in a luxurious Connecticut Ecuador cover leaf. The experience of this expression is distinctly different from the original M81 Maduro, while still retaining its foundational qualities due to the Connecticut broadleaf Maduro binder and filler leaves from Pennsylvania and Nicaragua. Presented in elegantly designed 20-count boxes, Blackened S84 Shade to Black by Drew Estate is available in Robusto, Toro, Corona Doble, and Corona. For more information, please visit drewestate.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please put your hands together. Help us welcome to episode 246 from Peter James Co., John Peter Laurendi. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, guys, for having me. Two things, Matt. Man, you sound like a sportscaster.
Oh, nice.
I need some of that voiceover.
Hey,
with some of our reels.
Anything you need done, man, you say the word. I'd love to help out.
Have you guys ever seen that show that Brockmire?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about sportscasting. How cool is that show?
That show is it's hilarious. I mean, it's sad, but it's hilarious at the same time.
It is. Yeah. But that's, you just remind me of that.
He does that
That's
great. He does that great. Like it sounds like the old, the sportscasters of old, like the guys from, you think even back to the earliest days of like baseball on radio, like Red Barber and guys like that. I love that.
Red Barber was awesome.
Yeah, he was.
So how you been, bro?
Busy, but good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like, where in the world is John Peter Laurendi? It's like Carmen Sandiego. You've been like hitting it just crazy lately, but and we definitely want to hear like tales of your travels and stuff like that. But first off, let us know if you're able to join us with a cigar and a beverage this evening. Are you smoking and drinking anything with us this evening?
I am smoking.
Nice.
That is the Emergence, formally launched, unlaunched, launched, unshipped.
Gotta love.
I think it'll be shipping July. I am not joining you in the spirit world this evening. I don't normally drink after 9 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Full disclosure.
Yeah,
Good
no
for
worries. No worries.
I don't normally drink, neither does Justin. So
yeah, I'm the only one who ever, and I really just, I drink
when I force it for him to drink.
Yeah, I drink for Spirit of Mystery on the show, and honestly, for the last couple months, I've barely had any alcohol at all except for the show.
I tried to get you drunk last Sunday.
You tried, you failed. You failed. Yeah, I wasn't into it. But John, one of the things that we love hearing from people is, that sort of origin story, that spark that got you interested in premium cigars. So talk us through, what brought you into the hobby and the culture of premium cigars, and even if you could remember what it might have been, what that first cigar was.
Where do I start here? My first cigar, let's start there. First cigar I ever had, I took, I don't know, maybe three puffs, and I threw it away. And it was a stolen cigar. I had jacked it from my dad's humidor, and it was a Cohiba. It was a Cuban.
Okay.
Story goes, I was going golfing with some hockey buddies, and they said, "Hey, bring a cigar. We're going to have some cigars on the golf course." I had never smoked a cigar. I never smoked anything at that point. And so I did. I went into my dad's humidor, and I looked for the nicest, shiniest one I could find. And it just so happened to be a Cohiba. And I took it. We started smoking a cigar, and I was like, this is not for me. So that was my first experience with a cigar, and I was probably 17 years old, slightly underage. But the true romance started when it was a very, very, I guess you could call it, difficult time in life. I was kind of going through the whole monkey mind. It was getting in my head a lot, hard for me to settle down. I didn't really know how to stay still. I was always moving. And a buddy of mine came over, and we were having some drinks, and he had a cigar, and he asked if I wanted to join him. And I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? I think I tried this once a few years back, and it didn't work, but I'll give it a go. And man, I just sat there with him for an hour, enjoyed a cigar, and it tasted great. The company was great. It was just that whole perfect combination of, setting, conversation, spirit. And I was like, hey, I sat here for a whole, I don't know if it was an hour, a little more than an hour, and it felt really good. And I felt a little bit more at peace after that. So, you know what? That's kind of what drew me towards cigars. And then, my character is, once I enjoy something or I get on the hook with something, I'm all in. I go all in. It was maybe a couple of weeks after I had a humidor. It was full of cigars.
Yep.
And everywhere I went, I would bring a cigar, and it was just that was the journey. That's where I started, and I loved it. I was just an enthusiast.
That sounds, yeah. Raul just said, I don't know anybody like that.
No, we don't know anybody
we're-
like that at all.
we're
None
all-
of us started off like that.
we're
We
all
got
like
it,
that.
all right? None of us have a problem. What's Cigars Anonymous?
Yeah. What are you smoking, Justin?
What am I smoking? I got the Emergence from Peter James Co. right here. Let's see if I can make that bigger. Boom.
There we
And then
go.
along with the trusty show exclusive 1919 root beer every week. You know how we do it. What about you, Raul?
I am smoking the same thing.
Same thing.
Love that logo.
Oh,
Get off my face.
There we go.
Love that
Pop.
logo. And I'm drinking a water as usual.
And
Let's get Matt fired up.
I'm
on
not
the
going to be
toast.
left out.
Yeah, we got to get Matt fired up here. So let's get him over on that toast cam.
That's right. Let's get it fired up. Cigar is the leading accessory brand with innovative butane lighters, precision cutting instruments, travel cases, and humidors. Each product is designed and manufactured with utmost precision and attention to detail. The result is a range of products that exude quality and refinement, reflecting the brand's dedication to excellence. For more information, please visit Cigar.com. There we go. This baby is ready to go.
So, what are we going to jump into next? Are we going to talk about the cigar we're smoking, or what do we got next on the line?
Let's let the cigar kind of settle into our palates a little bit. But one of the things I'm curious about, because John, you know, the way that you also kind of expanded your sort of love for the world of premium cigars is surrounding, you know, leather goods, ways to store cigars and carry cigars. So what got you into, was designing leather goods something you were doing before cigars, or did that sort of come about out of utility?
Strictly utility and a little nudge from the missus.
Okay.
A not so polite nudge. So, which I'm grateful for. I know I've always been somewhat of a, I guess, creator. I've been in marketing design pretty much most of my career, or out of college. And when I got into the cigar hobby, every time we went out to dinner or a cocktail party or someone's house, wherever it was, I'd always ask my wife, "Hey, can you bring your big purse? Because I need to take 3 cigar prong holders, my lighters, my cutter, maybe a little can of butane or 2 lighters, because I know I'm going to run out." And so after a while, the gig was up. She's like, "Hey, fuck off. I want to accessorize. I want to wear my little purses." And she's like, "Carry your own shit." And I was like, "Oh man, okay, I'll do that." And so I kind of went on a hunt. I was like, I need a case for my cigars and my accessories that's a little more elegant than the Pelican style case, the plastic one that I still have one. I take it fishing or whatever. It's a good utility case. But I need something I can take into a restaurant if I'm dressed a little more than I would be if I'm camping. And so I scoured the internet, talked to the buddies, went to Herf's, asked people randomly, and I couldn't find a thing. So I was with a couple of buddies having a cigar, and I had mentioned it, and I said, "Hey, does anybody want to make one?" And oddly enough, the next day, this was the co-founder of Peter James back in 2014, called me and said, "Hey, if you're serious, I'd love to join this hunt with you, like making our own. I think it's a great idea. I don't think there's anything out there, and I'd love to have one myself." So we went out to look for a manufacturer to make one just for our group. We didn't say, "Hey, let's just start a company and sell lots of cases." It was, let's just make one for our group, and this way my wife will be happy, I'll be happy, and that's it. The guys will be happy. And so that was a tougher journey than anticipated. I mean, I'm sure commerce today, nobody really gives a shit about the little guys most of the time. So for us to find someone to make 10 cases, they're like, "Get out of here, don't waste our time." So it took quite a while, quite a few hiccups, a few failures, a few lost deposits. before we actually found someone brave enough to manufacture for us. And we did that. And once we had our cases, which was the Gen 1, it was nothing crazy, but it was simple, simplistic, very nice leather. It was functional. And then the guys started posting their cases on Instagram with their cigars like you see everywhere now. And then it's, you start seeing the comments. Where did you get this? Where do I find this? I want this. So we kind of looked at each other and said, hey, people are asking for it. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad side gig. Plus, we love the industry. We love cigars. It's a passion. Why not create income from a passion? I mean, that's the dream, is it not, for everybody?
Yeah.
At least I think so. So that's kind of how it all spawned, and then we just kept growing from there. And that's kind of how I've started to position all my businesses now. It's how can I take the things I love in life and earn income from it? And it's selfishly, it's about the fact that I just want to live my life having fun and providing for my family. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
So that's kind of how I live my life now. It's if I'm truly passionate about something, I know I'll give it my everything, just like you guys attest to. When you're passionate about something, you're all in, and then I'm no different. So I'd rather be all in with something I love and have the ability to use that to provide for my family.
Yeah.
I can only wish I could see one in person. If there was any way we could see one right now.
What?
Justin has hooked us up, as a matter of fact.
I might have a package here that I have not opened yet.
This is a night of Coinky Dinks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a live.
I haven't opened this yet.
Unboxing.
I'm super excited because I reached out to John. I'm like, look, you're going to be on the show. I need a new case. I want to get the upgraded John Peter, latest swag going on. So I was like, what can I do for you to get this on the show? So I purchased this with my own money thanks to John. But we're going to do an unboxing of it.
Yeah, right on.
Here on the show. This is the first time we've done an unboxing before.
Why don't you put the camera on yourself, buddy?
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
getting there. I just got to get the thing open first. All right. I didn't want to cut myself here, so let's do this. And then I got a lot going on here, don't I?
That's all right. You're doing great.
Go.
There we go.
No, don't let him off the hook, Daddy. We haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. You know how many shots I got built up on both you motherfuckers?
So, it's in it. This just looks just like the cigar. If you guys haven't seen the cigar, by the way, that we're smoking, it comes in a similar box.
Yeah.
Beautiful box.
Beautiful emergence. I know there's a story and we want to hear all about the cigar in a second, but let's get to the accessories first.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that has a story that's deep in your heart. I'm guessing from the term emergence, I'm not going to spoil it for everybody. You can tell them, but so this box here is Peter James. This is like, nice box.
Yeah, I mean it's got like the logo watermarked. I mean this is not just
watermarked. I mean I can't.
Yeah.
My camera light is so much here, but there's a story. It says, "From our very care, we want to convey our gratitude for the trust you have placed in our brand. You are the beacon that guides our purpose, pushing us to create ever the more exquisite piece of art. These creations are not just products, but a promise of moments to be cherished, bringing joy for many years to come. John Peter Laurendi, founder of Peter James Co." So inside the box,
just that quote makes me want to buy one.
I know, right? So look at the inlay of that too. It's like, it's nice inside there.
Yeah, that copper color or that rose gold color.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Look at the case. This is like a Fuente style case. There's even a cloth here that I'm guessing it's to maybe clean it up or something. But it has a little drawstring bag right here, right? And then inside,
wow,
is a black. I got the leather version case, and then inside, it also has like the red.
Oh, I love that red interior. That red and black pops. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's super dope. It's got the buttons here to close it.
Oh yeah, like lighters, cutters.
Throw your Boveda pack in here if you want to, along with some other accessories. Got your perfect draw tool right here. You can stick in there, which I do have over here, and I will be putting that here in a second. And then your actual case for the cigar. You probably hold 5 or 6 in here. Usually is what I can fit in my other one currently. But
Nice.
that is the nice Italian work by Peter James, as it says right here on the stitching too.
Oh, wow.
So, and then along with that, you know, I brought the lighter that John also gave us at PCA at the media when we went out over at Luciano's little pool party. So
Great lighter.
this lighter is actually pretty sick. I like it. It's a single torch lighter. And if you can see it on the camera,
Yeah.
it just like these flaps open up and it kind of like just emerges out of there, right? See what I did there?
And it's
I
a,
like what you did there. Yeah.
it's
I like
a
what
nice
you did
wide torch too, even though it's
Yeah,
only a single
it's a
torch.
single flame, but
it's a big torch.
I love single flame torches, especially for touch-ups as multi-purpose. So
Yeah.
that's, you know, the lighter that also Peter James Co. has there. So
Do you have one of those in gold leather?
We made one at some point when we launched our first cigar, Los Estoico, which we did a black and gold and a white and gold.
Well, if you have one of those hanging around, I'd love one. How much do they retail for? See,
yeah,
Justin,
You know what? Hold on. You know what's funny? I think I have one white and gold left in our warehouse here.
take my money. Take my money.
yeah,
So what happened when we were given these wonderful lighters is I'm a gold. I like shit that pops. Justin's more of
I
a
have the black.
as you can tell. So we traded lighters, and then he got the black case. I'm like, maybe they can get a gold one.
I don't like gold at all.
No, you don't like gold.
Yeah. So, what do these retail for, John? Just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's a higher end leather product. You know that's here, and you have this one. There's another. What's the other term? It's not leather. What's the other material you use?
So there's the Alcantara. So
Yeah.
this is our original series,
Mm-hmm.
which was based off the original design launched in 2014.
Okay.
This retails for $535 and it's handmade in call it North America, Canada,
Mm-hmm.
by an Italian artisan who actually migrated here and started a leather manufacturing workshop. Great story, wonderful man. And to this day, he still manufactures our original series.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a
It feels sturdy too. It doesn't feel like some of the other ones that are flimsy and cheap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's got structure to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the leather, the texture of the leather is super soft,
Mhm.
but the case itself, it doesn't feel like flimsy. It's got structure to it, and
so what we don't advertise much, and that's my fault. I suck at it, but we actually line it with a German leather board. So when most people use, like if you're manufacturing overseas, I'm just going to say the word China, then normally they'll use what's most cost effective, which is a cardboard. The problem is, or any type of board, like paper board, over time, if you ever crease that board, it's creased.
Right.
And then you have that seam. This is a German manufactured material that mimics cardboard. It's a stiff, but you could actually roll it up, twist it, turn it, and it'll always go back to its original shape. It's more like a fabric. So that's how we line the cases to give it a structure. So I know when people sometimes look at the case, like, oh, it's 500 and the competitor's 300. And it's like, yeah, well, this shit's handmade in North America, and we actually put a lot of time and effort into the functionality of it.
Well, that looks like a perfect Father's Day present.
yeah,
Honey, if you're
I heard that's around the corner.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think you should let me in on who I should contact to get you that white and gold case.
I'll send you my wife's number.
So this, I gotta throw this out there and
Yeah.
and put this on the big camera,
Yeah.
because I mean
beautiful.
that does way more justice than my
The-
camera does.
the-
Thank you.
the pebbling and the texture on the leather is incredible.
Yeah.
These back panels behind the red leather panels behind the storage compartments are actually padded. And this is crazy. I love this detail. You open up the compartment where the cigars are meant to go, and in here there's a sleeve for a Boveda pack. That's
Yes.
I mean, that is like such attention to
Go.
detail.
Dope.
That's incredible that there's an extra sleeve inside the cigar compartment for a Boveda pack. I just love that attention to detail.
Nice.
Me too.
It's beautiful.
Man, yeah, the construction, the craftsmanship on this is fantastic. And this looks like this is just as at home at your local backyard herf as it is at a fancy black tie cigar dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Nice solid zipper.
And this cigar is
An
extremely
American zipper, Raul.
and American zipper.
Not from China.
So, thank you again, John, for this case. I am going to get a lot of use out of this. I'm super excited about this. It even has like a little sleeve on the outside. Geez, you got everything on this thing. So it's like I can put so much more stuff in here. I'm looking forward to using this. So thank you, brother, again.
You're welcome.
Now, let's get to this cigar. That's the next day, because I know Matt's lit up over there. Raul's lit up. I remember we had one, very end of the day when we met with Luciano over, at his booth.
And our pallets were shot.
Our pallets were shot, but like Luciano's, look,
PCA
we're
pallets.
not even doing an interview today. We had some stuff going on. We sat down with Luch. He made the day right, and we enjoyed your cigar there with him that day. So tell us a little bit about the emergence, the story of it, how it came to market, how this idea even came to be, other than you believing in something that you could do and made it happen.
And also, how you hooked up with Luciano?
Yeah.
All right, we'll just start with the story.
Yeah.
And see where it takes us. Okay, so I'm really bad with timelines. Call it maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was, that we were both at TPE, and a mutual friend of ours, I guess, had gone over to him and said, "Hey, you should go check out my buddy's booth over at Peter James." And he was kind enough to actually come by. And he came by and he saw our booth, he saw everything we were doing, and this is the time that we had launched Los Estoico, which was my first try at manufacturing a cigar, at blending and manufacturing a cigar. And he came, introduced himself, didn't say much, but when you just feel somebody's energy, you just feel like, their intention, they have good purpose, they're there for a reason. And he's like, "Do you mind if I see one of each of your cigars?" I said, "Absolutely." And I gave him one of each. And he did this thing where I just cut an inch off of the wrapper and was like kind of dissecting it, and then was grabbed a Kleenex and was rubbing it, and then lit it, and then waited to get the flavor of the cigar without the wrapper, and then smoked a little bit into the wrapper, and gave me his thoughts and gave me some tips, we were just critiquing it, but in a way that was not intrusive. It was welcoming, and it was just, he was doing it because he really saw the effort I was putting in and wanted to help. And so I took that, and I received that well. It was really nice. You don't really get that too often. It's a friendly business, but it's also a competitive business. Let's not hide that. It's business, right? So it was really, really cool of him to do that for me. And it wasn't at that point, but it was at the PCA the following TPE. I said, "Hey, would you be willing to make a cigar?" And he said, "Yeah." And we had a conversation, and it was a very minimal conversation. We didn't talk blend, we didn't talk anything, we just talked experience. I said, "This is how I want my clients to feel when they grab a Peter James cigar, and this is how I want them to feel when they're done." And the next time he saw me, he had 5 samples, 5 blends. And I had 3 or 4 people with me, a few friends, and at the time, before he was my business partner, he was entertaining the idea, Adrian. And we smoked each of the cigars together at the same time. Just went through a little blend tasting. And I was blown away. And actually, this cigar, the predecessor, which was called Deep and Shallow, was basically what this ended up becoming, Emergence, with some minor revisions and tweaks, which I thought were fantastic. And that's how the partnership was kind of born. I mean, there's a lot more. I'm just trying to shorten it for you, but it was just, I don't know blending the way he does or the way most of these master blenders do. I mean, it's the beginning of my cigar blending and manufacturing journey. So I can't assume that I'm going to know everything all at once. So the partnership just made sense. I just felt that the company needed to go somewhere deeper in the industry to survive. I mean, I want this to be bigger for people, and I want to be able to give people the same joy I did through the cases through cigars. Um, and I think that we're able to achieve that. And that's kind of where the name Emergence spawned from. It's, taking different components, bringing them together. The sum of their parts are greater than that of them alone, and something greater will emerge from that, which is the whole premise of Emergence. It's Luciano Cigars and Peter James separately. We're two very different brands with very different skill sets, but together, when we come together, something greater spawned. And that's why we decided to name our first cigar Emergence. And I'm grateful for obviously all the lessons I'm learning, and I'm continuing to learn. It never ends. You're always a student. I'm always a student. I'm sure you guys can attest to that. So, it's fun. I mean, it's like anything. You guys are sportsmen. If you play on a team, first time playing on a team, the team is filled with lots of talent, heart, determination. But you're not. It takes a while for you guys to get adjusted and gel together. But then once you gel, that's when things start to happen. And it's no different. We're still getting to know each other. We're still getting to understand where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are, how do we fill the gaps, and how do we just become, this like superpower, if you will, for the cigar industry. And so it's fun just trying to navigate that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, talking earlier about when Justin was asking the question, talking about this past PCA, with the people that over time you build relationships with people in this industry. And this is such a relationship driven industry. And, Luciano is one of those people that, we've gotten to know more and more over the years. And, he's even spent time here in Minnesota with us, just not even for, in some cases, not even for sales events, just
chopping it up,
just to be here. And, I still, and this is probably one of those memories that'll stick with me forever, and probably for you guys too, that at this past PCA back in March, we had this was, I think, the last or second to last day of the trade show. We had a very rough day and a very rough experience just prior to when we had our interview scheduled with Luciano at his booth. And we get there, and he can tell, like, as soon as Luciano sees me, he's like, something's wrong. What's going on? And, I didn't want to, name names or get into it with him or anything like that. But I just said, I'm really struggling. Just had a really rough, situation that didn't go as planned, so on and so forth. And Luciano's like, screw the interview. Let's just sit and talk. And I mean, this is a chance, that he has on our channel, just like all the other interviews we do at PCA, to sit down and feature and showcase his brands and his new cigars and all this stuff. And he doesn't care about that at all. He just cares about us. He just wants to sit down and talk. And we sat there
we smoked this whole cigar.
We smoked the whole cigar, and we were probably there an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And we just talked. We talked about family and life and all other kinds of stuff. And by the end of that conversation, I felt like $1 million. And that's one of those examples to me of kind of what is different about him, is that he wasn't interested in making the pitch on video for our YouTube channel. He wasn't interested in selling another shop somewhere in the country that may have seen our video on How About That Cigar's YouTube channel or Facebook page. He was interested in getting me back to even, because he could tell I was like really jacked up and pretty pissed off.
And even after that point, that was the same night afterwards was Luciano's
Yeah.
media pool party, where his whole family barbecued just for all the media people
Yeah,
at
and
the house,
cooked for us.
you know, Paulie and all those guys, and we were having dinner, you know, and that's kind of where we got a chance to meet with John Peter. There was at
Exactly.
Luciano's pool party, whatnot, and you know, we're all smoking cigars, having good food, and you know, I was talking to John next to the pool for, I don't know, John, a couple hours or something, a good hour at least, and we were just chopping it up, and yeah, it was. You could see the camaraderie between Luciano and his team, and just to add John Peter in here with that as well, and everybody else that Luciano has in the umbrella, like you said, it's everybody's working together. All the little small pieces come together, and they create something that's just, you know, amazing, and it was a good stuff. So,
well, sorry, go ahead, Raul.
Another thing about that, we were all separated, all three of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You were talking to Peter. You were at the table with the main guys, and I was talking to Paul and his wife, and the big man, and it was nice. It was a wonderful experience, one of the best experiences I've had down there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this kind of this leads to me asking you, and we've asked so many people this, John, is there, you know, when it comes to the world of premium cigars, if you're doing accessories or you're doing other stuff and you want to get into the realm of you know, having your own cigar for your own brand, there's a lot of choices out there for places you can go that'll do, you know, make cigars for you. So it seems like this you know, relationship that you already had, you know, sort of developing with Luciano and knowing him, you know, what was that really the deciding factor? It was just, you know, who he is that made you want to continue working with him?
It played a big part. It's like, I mean, so one of my other business ventures that I started, my business partner there, the one thing a piece of advice I gave him, which will correlate to this, was we were looking for a third partner at the time, and he's very green to entrepreneurship, and he had all these people come in that were very interested. And I said, hey, you know, make no mistake. I said, you know, you can find money anywhere. You can find money from a bank, the government, a grant. You can find someone who's interested, but that's not what we need here. I said, I need you to look at this like you're building a team, a sports team, if you will. You know, you're not just going to go out and get, if you're trying to build a hockey team, you're just going to go and get any left wing. You're the centerman, you have a right wing. You're just going to go, hey, let's just, any left wing that can skate and shoot a puck, you're going to put him on the team? No. You want a top tier player. And this is no different. So for me, when I was looking at this, is okay, I've tried my hand at manufacturing myself. I've learned a lot. I've failed, which is fine. I fail all the time. It's part of business. Now I know the direction I need to go. And I knew at that point I wanted somebody who was the manufacturer to not just manufacture my cigars, but to actually own the brand, a piece of the brand, because it was important for me for them to be just as invested in the brand, so that their quality control, their desire, everything would be simulated as if it was their own. And I just knew that was the route. And it just so happened that he also had the ability to distribute and sell. So he was definitely somebody that I really had an eye on, or I was like, okay, this is a good fit. But it was actually, just to your point, Matt, when you have conversations, you understand it's more than just the business component when you couple that with somebody that you want to play with. Because remember, business is a game, just like a sport, and you're going to be playing with this person for a very long time, whatever the end goal is. So you better enjoy it. And so that for me was, that was the deal that sold it for me.
Yeah. Now, one of the pieces, you know, that I know you pay a great deal of attention to, that's important to you, and I think goes often underlooked, or overlooked is what I mean to say. And it's interesting because as I was putting this question on the list, I realized I don't think we've spent a lot of time ever talking about this on the show, but I think, and that's because I also tend to overlook it sometimes, but you know, the design, the look the statement that the visuals of the packaging of your cigar make are they're unique, and they are they're very what's the it
Precise.
they're
Luxury-driven.
precise, and just it just really stands out, and it speaks to you when you see it. That's, at least it does to me.
Yeah.
Now, what for you, when you were working on this project, how deeply do you believe that visual design plays into a cigar, and how important is that to you?
The cigar or the packaging or both?
I mean, let's
Which
go
came
with
first, the chicken or the egg?
Let's go with the packaging, the bands, that kind of thing. Because obviously, the construction, you want the cigar to be constructed properly and look, the way it's supposed to look. But are you looking at do you want to see the finished product, like the finished cigar and the color of the wrapper leaf on that cigar, before you start working on the color scheme for the packaging, or how does that all work?
Yeah. First part of the question. You guys, for me, the details are extremely important in everything. There's beauty to be found everywhere, and I feel like we'd be selling ourselves short if we didn't give every detail the attention it deserved, even the packaging. If you go out for dinner with your wife and you go to a hole in the wall and the food's terrific, it's a great night. You're not going to be mad at it at all. But if you take your wife to a restaurant and you're treated with the most incredible atmosphere, service, food, like everything is just up to par, you're going to leave saying to yourself, wow, they nailed it. I feel incredible. We had an amazing time. So I approach everything that same way. It's not just the packaging. It's the packaging, the cigar, the presentation, the way it's shipped. Like when Justin opened the box, I'm very particular about how things are shipped and what kind of boxes they're shipped in. Like all of that needs attention. Because again, this is somebody's moment that I have the opportunity of sharing. And I think if I don't give it the respect it deserves, then shame on me. So the packaging is very important. The cigar is very important. The way it's manufactured is very important. The way it's stored is very important. Every single thing is very important. I don't overlook anything. And I think to the second part of that question, we didn't start designing, and I didn't start designing the actual packaging itself until I smoked the cigar, the final cigar.
Yeah.
Because I needed to know how it made me feel. I couldn't put a visual on something unless I was feeling something. So when I smoked that cigar, everything just kind of came out. It was not hard. I knew exactly what the look and feel was, the color scheme. And so from that point, it was pretty easy. Now, it doesn't always happen that way, but this time it did. It just felt right. Everything just felt right. I guess that goes to show the partnership was right, because everything along the way felt right.
Well, it's interesting because I'm really into from afar. I admire them from afar. I'm really into fancy watches. I can't afford them, but I deeply respect them and love to learn about them and the way they look and things like that. And this rose gold color, that's almost like a love child of rose gold and copper to me when I see it. Reminds me there's a particular, there's a lot of watches with rose gold cases, but one in particular, the PK Royal Oak in rose gold, which is a phenomenal watch. It's an insanely expensive, absolutely gorgeous watch. But the shade, and I know this is going to be really nitpicky, but the shade of rose gold that they end up achieving on that watch reminds me so much of this packaging. And it's got that elegance to it that's really it evokes that same kind of feeling for me. as the color, that the shade of rose gold that they get on that watch. It really evokes that for me.
Yeah, it was the rose gold, I would say, was the biggest challenge because there's so many rose golds, as you know. I'm sure in the watch world too, there's a ton.
Yeah.
So try to find that right rose gold that was the perfect balance between masculine and feminine, so that there was no determination of what it could be. That was very important because it's a cigar for everybody. I don't want it to be labeled as a him or hers. So that was, I'd say, the biggest challenge is finding that right rose gold and then mimicking that rose gold across all materials.
Well, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
And it may just be, mental suggestion, but I do get, hints of like leather aromas from the blend, the tobacco blend in the cigar. It's not like overwhelming. It's not like, some cigar blends have tobacco combinations that are just extremely heavy on like leather aromas and notes. This one is I'm just getting a little hint of it, but I like, there's depth, there's boldness in the blend. There's a little bit of spice, but it's still nice and smooth. It's burning really, really well. Construction's great.
Very unique profile for
Yeah.
sure. It's different than anything I've had recently. That's in the last year or so.
I don't want to butcher it, guys, so I'll let Luciano speak to the blend.
Yeah.
Because when he says it, it's a lot more romantic than when I get to it. But the deep and shallow blend, I'll just tell you this part, and I hope I don't kill it. Sorry, Luch, if you see this or listen. So deep and shallow, Luciano's a fan of frequency. And so when I was explaining the experience that I wanted the client to have, is I wanted something where it would completely engulf your moment. I didn't want this cigar to be a cigar that you would smoke on a golf course or, smoke when you're just focused on working or whatever. I didn't want this a cigar that was going to completely engulf your moment where you didn't care about anything else in the world except your time, that moment in the cigar. And so when he was explaining to me deep and shallow, he was explaining how he was playing with frequency, highs and lows. Like when you listen to music, you have highs, lows, mids. Well, basically what he did with this cigar, deep and shallow, was remove the mid in such a way that would still keep the cigar balanced, but you would be guessing the entire time. You'd be so focused on what the heck the flavors were and the complexity, how it all played together, that by the time you finished, your hour went by and you just still couldn't figure out what was going on. And I think he did that. He did that really well. And I know because we were at the trade show and I just couldn't, he gave me a bundle, but I like to share, cigars are meant to be shared. And so a friend of mine came to the booth all excited about his cigar. And he's like, you got to try it. It's launching. And I'm like, yes, please give it to me. I go, speaking of which, I want you to try a cigar that I'm thinking about, partnering with Luciano on. Do you mind trying it? And he sat there in the booth for, I think it was more than an hour because he was smoking a 52x7. It was a blender's roll. And there was 10 of us in the booth. We were having a chat, having a laugh, and he was sitting there quietly the entire time. Didn't say two words. Finally, he was done. He says, "Are you kidding me? What the hell was that?" He's like, "What the hell was that?" And I'm like, dude, you gotta go talk to the master. I have no idea. But it's crazy, right? He's like, yeah. Because I kind of don't want to launch my cigar now. Like, no, don't be silly. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. But that to me that's the fun. I was never really interested in, okay, let's make a cigar that was medium mild, that had notes of caramel and toffee, and I don't know that I don't know. A lot of people like that. I don't. I want a cigar that is an experience that evokes emotion. There are great cigars for every single occasion in life. When I'm on the golf course, I know there's a specific cigar I like to smoke. when I'm with friends, there's a specific cigar I like to smoke, but this cigar, this is a celebratory cigar. I did something. I want to celebrate it, and I just want a moment to be taken away out of my thoughts and into another world, and that's what this does.
Yeah. For you, and we'll say, I mean, we can talk specifically about this cigar, but also just kind of in general in your, daily and weekly cigar smoking. What's your favorite beverage, to have together with a cigar?
Water.
Oh, all right. I like it.
Honestly, so I used to be big into pairing. I went through that at one point. And I'd love to experiment with spirits and flavors and leaf. But I've really slowed the alcohol consumption. So right now it's water, and I drink coffee probably 10. So Luch taught me this. I used to drink coffee while I was smoking a cigar. And when he was here at the, I don't know what you want to call this. It's a speakeasy because it's illegal in Canada. I hope we're not live. Are we live?
Yeah.
Hope they don't come after me. Anyways, he came by and I made him a coffee. I had a coffee and I was drinking the coffee while I was smoking a cigar. And he says, you should really drink the coffee 10 to 15 minutes before the cigar. And before I asked why, I knew this was a 20, 30-minute conversation because he goes very deep.
Yeah.
But I had to know. So I was like, okay, why? And so we went in this conversation about your palate, the salivary glands, how that's reflected through the stomach. And it was incredible to just learn this. And by the way, I actually went, because I'm crazy with my due diligence. I went online. I even looked through some of my journals because I have a lot of biology journals. And I was trying to understand the correlation to what he was saying and how our salivary glands fire depending on what we've eaten or drank. And so essentially when you're drinking the coffee, that high acidity on the palate stops some of your salivary glands from firing. So you're going to miss notes in the cigar. It's basically flattening the cigar. So it might taste good together, but that's only because the coffee is slightly muting the cigar profile. And then so after that 10 minutes, you'll start to notice that it'll fire back up again. And then the combination will give you a better profile. So really what you should be doing is, you said, just lightly cleansing the palate with a little bit of coffee 10 to 15 minutes before. And so ever since he said that, I don't drink coffee with my cigars anymore. I drink it 10 to 15 minutes before. But either water or sparkling water. Yeah, I'm boring, man. Sorry to disappoint.
No, that's not boring at all. I mean, when it comes to just daily enjoyment, I'll do anything from coffee to spirits to whatever. But yeah, when it's review time, it's water or sparkling water.
Water.
Yeah, that's the only way to go. So you can really get everything.
But if I'll give you this, if I am going to drink and smoke a cigar, and this is oddly enough, I actually prefer Jose Cuervo. Is it Family Reserve?
Yeah,
it's a sipping tequila. Yeah,
I like it.
So John, you said you're at this speakeasy, huh? And we had a little bit talk about that, but you got all kinds of stuff going on in that building. So I know you're like the entrepreneur kind of spirit. You got a bunch of stuff going on, and you care to give us a little taste of what you got cooking up over there.
Yeah. Okay. So where's this aired, by the way? This is probably not shown in Canada, right? We're fine. So basically, when we moved all of our fulfillment, warehouse, logistics, all that to the US, just because it made more sense. I had all this space back here. And so rather than leasing it, getting a tenant and just giving a space to someone to use, I said, it would be really nice for a group of guys to have a space that they could enjoy a premium cigar, a good conversation, sort of, practicing that art of stoicism and just getting great minds together and enjoying a little bit of time together. And so we made one room on our second floor, which is probably 700 square feet. We turned it into a cigar lounge, just a small 12-seater cigar lounge, but very elegant. And then it grew,
Hmm.
and it grew, and it grew, and now it's the whole second floor, which is great because it gives a lot of really good men an opportunity to find something that they don't find here, which is camaraderie, a place to enjoy a cigar, especially because it's super cold in the winters. But more so the camaraderie, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we went from just having 10 guys in a matter of a couple months to 30, and then, up to 60. And these are just really great guys, and they enjoy themselves here. It's such a, honestly, it's such a joy to watch, to come in when I come in here and I see a group of guys. I'm talking just, all over the spectrum, between
Yeah.
the ages of 30 and 65, and everybody's just laughing and having a good chat and enjoying a cigar. Which I'm in one of the little rooms now, which is a 4-person, call it our business room. So we don't take phone calls or do any work in the main room. So if you have to take a phone call, you come into the business room, which is a little smaller room, just for respect of people's
Yeah.
time. But before guys come home, 3:30, 4 o'clock, most of them are entrepreneurs. They come in here, they disconnect from their work. They get that hour of their time so they can go home to their families, calm, cool, and collected. And
Yeah.
it's awesome. Um, and then downstairs, which is my latest endeavor, we talked about how I like turning my passions into business because I want to have fun. And one of my passions is biohacking. Um, I'll just go down I'll just tell you a little bit of the story of how it started and how the two correlate. So I was 31 years old. I played a lot of hockey, kind of semi-pro, junior hockey up until the ages of 23 or 24 years old. And I was a goalie. So that much hockey in my life, my hips were terrible. I had bone degeneration, impingement, arthritis. It was hard to walk, hard to get out of bed. I had to take a lot of, medications, topicals, all that stuff to just function. There were times when I'd be out with my friends and my hip would slightly come out of its place, and I'd have to have my friends position me and pop it back in. It was super uncomfortable, especially in a nightclub. It was hilarious. It was bad. Anyways, I went to see a couple of hip surgeons, saw 3 of the top surgeons in the province, and 2 of the 3 recommended full hip replacements at the age of 31. And the other one recommended an arthroscopy. Well, one of them said to me, and he's really stern, he's like, "Son," call me son. I was like, "Okay." "Your hips look like they're 65. I'm like, 31. He's like, "Yep." He goes, "That's how much wear they've seen." He goes, "You need to get them replaced." I go, "Okay, so how often do I have to get them replaced if I get them replaced now?" He's like, 15 years I'll have to do another replacement. I said, "Okay, so I'll be 46. I go, "That's just crazy." I go, "There's no way, you're telling me there's no way my hips will heal on their own?" He says, "Nope, the damage has been done. They will not heal." And I thought that was my moment for me. I'm like, this guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You're telling me my body, that this complex biology, given the right circumstances, cannot heal on its own? I didn't buy it at all. So that took me down that rabbit hole of biohacking. And I'll say to this day, I've never had a surgery or a hip replacement, and I can pretty much go toe to toe with anybody on the ice or off. And I have no problems running, no problems walking anymore, all of that. And that's all just understanding my biology and me making the conscious choice to say, hey, yeah, I can change it. And so what we did downstairs is there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of information, period. And often nobody really knows, or sometimes we don't even know what we can trust, what's valid, what's scientifically proven,
Yeah.
What's hearsay, what's opinion. So I thought, hey, you know what? Because I was once like this too. And I have a lot of people who ask me the same question. And you're 41 years old, you don't act it, you don't look it. And I'm like, yeah. I'm always forthcoming. This is exactly what I do. But most people get overwhelmed with that information. So I thought, hey, why don't we create a facility We won't go full into biohacking because it's so vast. You can get lost in it, and it could be overwhelming for most people. So let's just create a center that gives people immediate effects, so they can see what this does, and they can see how they can actually change, and it'll make them feel better. They can live longer, live stronger. They can optimize their health, hack their health, and optimize their performance. And so that's what we did. We built a private facility, members only. We don't put time limits on your usage. So you pay a monthly fee, you come in, you use the facility, use all the tools. So we have, sauna, cold plunge, red light therapy, grounding therapy, oxygen therapy, hydrogen therapy, and PMF therapy. And then we also have an FST on site as well. And it's just a place where you can come and take care of your body. And then some of the guys upstairs who are members of the gentleman's facility can use both. So they can take care of their body, feel nice and relaxed, and come upstairs for a cigar. So I'm trying to see how I can fuse the two, even though most people say, well, cigars aren't healthy. And I do have something to say about that, because I'm crazy about my wearables and how I track my body. And some of the best HRVs that I've got, some of the best resting heart rates I've had, have been when I'm having a cigar.
Yeah.
Just, I track all of it, the data, and I've shown a friend of mine who's actually a general practitioner, a doctor. I'm like, you can't deny that this isn't proof. I go, look at my day, look at my HRV, my resting heart rate, look at all my data because you have it right here, and then look what it does for that hour I'm having a cigar. And so I'm trying to see how we can balance between the two, because I do believe that, from a mental standpoint and slightly from a physical standpoint, that it's not. Now, if you're inhaling cigars, that's
right. Whole different ballgame.
This is a totally different ballgame, completely different. But there is also studies that show that low doses of nicotine stimulate brain function.
Yeah.
So I don't trust the data too much. I know FDA came out with probably one study, the first study ever on cigars alone, excluding cigarette tobacco, which was really great for the industry.
Yeah.
I think that's a good starting point, but I'd love to see some more, because I know that there's a lot of even mental health attributes to have it to enjoying a premium cigar. So that's kind of what I got for you, Justin.
I love it.
Sorry to gloss so hard on that.
No, because honestly, that's one of the things that government officials, mainly government health officials, and this is true in the U.S. and Canada, they don't understand that premium cigars, the world of the cigar lounge, if you will, premium hand-rolled cigars have nothing whatsoever to do with the nicotine fix. It's about, it could be meditation, it could be camaraderie, but both of those things are beneficial to one's health. And if you're smoking premium cigars the way they're meant to be enjoyed, which is puff the cigar into your mouth and then exhale it, the smoke doesn't go, you're not inhaling that cigar directly into your lungs like people who smoke cigarettes. And
or vape.
Yeah. And we're talking about 100% natural tobacco from Nicaragua, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, so on and so forth. It's tobacco, water, and vegetable gum. And the mental benefits are so vast but government health officials are obsessed with expediency, and they're also lazy, and so are most politicians in the US and Canada, and therefore if they're going to do tobacco legislation, they're going to lump all of it together because they need it to be done quickly, and they don't want to put in very much work to it. So they're not going to take the time to worry about whether premium hand-rolled cigars are different than cigarettes. They're just going to put tobacco legislation out there and say to the citizens, well, just deal with it.
Yeah.
It's your problem now. And I know that regulations are far more strict in Canada. What part of Canada are you in, by the way?
Ontario. So I'm just 20 minutes outside Toronto, about 10 minutes from Pearson Airport. The regulations are just, they're insane.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. It's very clear they do not want premium cigars anywhere in this country.
Nope, they don't. And they're going to try to price people out of it.
Oh yeah.
What's astounding, the most astounding, is we fought tooth and nail for it, is the plain packaging laws that came into effect a little while ago. And they were so adamant about them. And the basis of this packaging was, we want to ensure that no tobacco, no cigars are sold to minors. And the packaging is a direct correlation to enticing a young consumer to buy a cigar. And I was like, how many cigar shops have you been to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many have you sat in front of? Shit, I mean, you had kids dying from the Juul, from vaping.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you guys plain packaging vaping,
Yeah.
but you're plain packaging a premium cigar. I haven't seen. I mean, I'm 41. I'm 20 years now. I have not seen one child come up to me at a tobacco shop say, "Hey, can you go in there and buy me a cigar?"
Yeah.
Like we used to do, like they used to do when we were kids at the convenience stores for.
Yeah.
It's a different agenda. It's bullshit, and we see right through it. I mean, if you don't see through it, you got to wake up. People got to wake up, because these are politicians' personal agendas for whatever their reasons are. These are their personal agendas, and they're pushing it. They're pushing it from their ego. Maybe it's their past trauma. Maybe it's something, but their egos are driving an entire industry away. That, maybe 10 years from now, we'll see that somebody will take the initiative, come back out and say, hey, actually, you know what? Cigars, they're actually not that bad for you if utilized or consumed in the proper manner.
Yeah.
Just like they're doing, and I'm bringing this up because it's relevant, MDMA and psilocybin, which is mushrooms, how they're using it for PTSD, and how it's now being approved as a pharmaceutical drug. But you just banned it not too long ago. I have a feeling that's going to happen with tobacco too.
Here's another super interesting thing about psilocybin, and I'm sorry about the rabbit hole, but I actually love this rabbit hole. Is MDMA and psilocybin have been proven multiple times over the last, 10, 15 years to be one of the most effective ways for people to stop using cigarettes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
among other things too. It helps with PTSD. Like there's so many other things.
Anxiety, depression. The success rate is just astronomical. It's like you can't deny it. See, this is the point, is when I was saying politicians are driving this, and for whatever their own personal reasons or agendas are. Back when they had banned MDMA and psilocybin and even LSD, which LSD is coming back as, having really good success in certain areas. You just had people who wanted to fight a war on drugs, and all drugs were drugs. And if one drug was classified as a drug, then to your point, like cigarettes, all tobacco is evil. All drugs are evil.
That's right.
Right. So I just feel like they haven't explored premium cigars enough, like they're doing now with MDMA, psilocybin, LSD. And I think that we have to get them there. They need to do that. Somebody, or if not them, private funding has to say, let's do some studies on the mental front, but also on the physical.
Yeah.
Look, I'll take any blood panel. I'll do any EKG. I'll do any test you want me to do. I smoke 2 cigars a day. My VO2 max is probably better than that of a 25-year-old. So how can you look me in the eye and tell me, sir, it's bad for you, don't smoke cigars? Okay.
Yeah.
You can say it, but it's not true. It's not. Well, because I'm the proof.
Yeah, I'm the same. So I'm almost 53, and I just had a doctor appointment about a month ago. I've got another one in a couple days, and my doctor, when he does my lab work, blood tests and urinalysis, he's like, I can't believe that you drink whiskey and smoke cigars, because and I eat shit tons of red meat and bacon and cheese, and my numbers by conventional standards, like cholesterol numbers and hemoglobin and, you know, all that stuff. But my blood pressure, it's like perfect, like low end of the best ranges you can get. And he just shakes his head. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. He's like, all the stuff you do, I tell all my patients to never ever do. I tell them to eat, you know, small amounts of red meat, and to not consume any tobacco products, and to not drink hard liquor and things like that. And you do all those things. And I'm more like 3 to 5 cigars a day. I used to be 5 to 7 cigars a day, but I've cut back. But still, my lab tests don't lie.
No. You know, so someone said in the comment there, you know, ketamine is also being used as a therapy for depression. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, some of these things that aren't explored. And to your point, a lot of the diagnoses that we have, it has a lot to do. The correlation is the mental aspect, where you are mentally. If you're a person that you know, consumes a lot of alcohol, eats poorly, or you know, whatever the case may be, and you suffer from anxiety, a lot of those numbers in your blood panel will show differently. So this is where I think the cigar comes into play, because I mean, it's like you said, very therapeutic. It's almost like a form of meditation.
Yeah.
And guys, I can go into the rabbit hole of meditation and biohacking, and how you can change your physiology through your mind and all that, but I won't, because I know this is a cigar podcast.
We
But
can definitely go into that, because I mean, if you want to bring up the book of Magic of Believing and all that stuff, I mean, that you could totally go down that rabbit hole too.
Yeah, no, I look, there's too much evidence now. Like there's just too many good people with financial backing showing and doing the studies to ignore it. There's just too many. Like Dr. Joe Sperenza, I just saw him at the biohacking conference, and just when he first started, people would call him crazy. He was ridiculed, you know, by so much media, so many doctors and scientists, and you look at it now and you just laugh, because you cannot deny the evidence. People are literally curing cancer by themselves. They're literally curing scoliosis. They're literally curing themselves just through meditation. And there's a lot more to that. I'm not saying that if you just sit down and meditate, you're going to be cured. You have to understand the process of your brain waves and how to get from, you know, your beta brain waves to your theta to your alpha, gamma, and so forth. It takes a long time. It's a lot of practice, but these are where you start encouraging your lymphatic system, the lymphatic part of your brain, to start working for you. So, I mean, I'm hard pressed to believe that it's just one thing or another. I think the main thing is you were talking about food, how you eat bacon and cheese and your cholesterol. I don't think that's true at all. I mean, I think most general practitioners are trained in a certain way, and most of the time that way is a very old way. So it's not their fault. I'm not blaming them. They don't know.
Yeah.
Just like you said, like I've gone to see doctors that would say one thing, and I'd show them the proof the next day, and be like, and I went to my GP once and I said, hey, can I need a blood panel, but not the cheap blood panel that the government pays for. I'll pay for it. I need like an expensive one. Yeah. He's like, no, you don't. I said, what? I said, I want one. I'll pay for it. He's like, no, you won't. You're fine. I saw your blood panel from 4 months ago. You're okay. So it's not that. I think they just don't know. And I think rather than trusting just your GP, do the work. I mean, man, pick up a biology book. The things you can learn about your body in just a simple biology book, it's astounding.
Yeah. It's the old school thinking is there are so many, and that's one of the benefits of the information age that we're in today, is that you can get access to studies that are far more independent than government sponsored studies or studies in the past that were all paid for and in the back pockets of pharmaceutical companies and things like that. You know, there's a lot of people out there who are doing and have been for 10 to 15 years, independent studies, multivariate analysis, and where they do it not with, because if you go into a study having already in your mind a means to an end, like a pharmaceutical company would, or government entities would, you know, if they go into it saying this is the result we're hoping to get, then they're going to take whatever measures they can to skew the results in their favor. Whereas if you just have independent researchers whose only goal is to get to whatever the truth might be, then that's the best way to go about it. And the fact that there is access to that information, and don't get me wrong, I know you know the same thing. There is a lot of bad information out there on the internet, but it takes, like you said, John, it takes work. You have to put in the work to get to the information that's relevant, that's timely, that's peer reviewed and reliable and things like that. And it's but the fact that we have access to that information today, where our parents didn't have access to that information, our grandparents sure as hell didn't have access to that information. Their doctor told them X, Y, and Z, and they were like, well, he's my doctor, he must know best.
Well, let's not forget those pharmaceutical companies there to make money.
Yeah.
They don't want us to go herbalistic or find the answers in our bodies.
Right.
They want us to use a medication that they're making money off of.
And put a Band-Aid on it, you know, so you got to keep on using it, keep on paying the money. And like, you know, that's the whole opioid crisis, everything. There's so many other options out there. I mean, if you took away like Vicodin, Dilaudid, all the other opiates that are out there, half the nation would be dope sick right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just basically what it's come down to. It's all about the money for them. And now like people are actually stepping up and saying, hey, this isn't the way. There's another way that could actually be way more beneficial to people. And that's where we really need to get back to, is our roots, and like actually like getting back to like being a normal civilization where none of that stuff matters. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
And not to go full conspiracy theory, but there is a reason that 92% of all commercial airtime is for pharmaceuticals. That's a fact. 92% of all commercial airtime on television, radio, so on and so forth is pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
It's not I want to correct. It's not a conspiracy, because I mean, it's not. Think about this for a second. I know you want to be cautious, but when you have the data, I mean, it's like any other business. The medical industry is a business, is it not? It's there to earn income. So any way it can lock you into an ecosystem of feeding them money, they're going to do it. And maybe they're not doing it maliciously. I'm not saying that they're doing it maliciously, but if you have diabetes, they're going to come up with something to treat diabetes. And their goal at that point is to keep you on that medication, because that keeps income coming in for them. It's a business plan.
They have to answer to their shareholders.
Right. I mean, we as people have to wake up and just say, oh, okay, I see that now. And realize that, hey, I can actually cure myself from diabetes.
Yeah.
Maybe stop eating junk food. Maybe just eat real food, clean food, and see how quickly you can come off that medication. And I'm going to be so bold to say, I don't care if people ridicule me for saying it, because I've seen it happen in many people who are on insulin shots, have to take it on multiple medications. And all they did was clean up their diet and incorporate a little bit of exercise. I mean, like walking, and come off their insulin completely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we as a society, I mean, you guys, you get it, but we as a society of people just have to wake up. That's it. Just say, hey, look, the medical field is there to help us when we need it. But now it's got a little too far, where it's providing all these Band-Aids and crutches that maybe it's, instead of just fixing the topical, we got to get to the root.
Yeah.
And fix it ourselves, and then we won't need that.
Yeah. So I got a question for Justin and Raul.
What's that, Matt?
Is it time?
Is it time for what? Wait, I still don't have. Can you guys give me a watch? I don't know what time it is.
Oh, well,
let's ask him one more question. You have one more question on the list. I want to see it. I want to hear
What,
his
you got
answer.
one more question?
the
What's your
bottom one?
Yeah.
Oh, I've had that question on the list for months and months and months. I don't always ask it, but I think John might be a good candidate for this
I
question.
do, especially
Go for
the
it.
way he is. What's your least favorite thing about the industry, the cigar industry right now? And I'm not talking about the government stepping on us and just your least favorite thing about the cigar industry.
I would say the smoke and mirrors.
Oh, I like that answer.
I'm a very transparent and authentic person, and maybe sometimes people like it, sometimes they don't, sometimes they get uncomfortable. But I didn't realize how much smoke and mirrors there would be in the industry, which I know, in that other industries, and any other in the industry, in any part of the world, people wear many faces and wear many masks. But more so here, I've been in other industries, few of them, and I'd rather somebody, just be authentic, even if it means hurting someone's feelings. We're all adults.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one.
Yeah, that's a great answer. We're all adults. Let's just be honest.
At least by age.
Yeah.
So I think David Floyd has an idea.
David,
I think he does.
I think David's right. I think it is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. And as always, Numero de los Muertos brought to us by our friends at Smoke Inn.
Honesty agree with the goat to tell you about Smoke Inn's Cigar of the Month Club. Every month, I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Every month, there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, you can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. We've made it super simple. All you gotta do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break, going out of town, simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. All delivered to your door for $34.95. 5 great reasons on what makes Smoke Inn Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace.
All right. Numero de los Muertos, episode 246. This one is... So the number's tricky on this one because reports and legitimate sources vary widely.
Okay.
And this is not just per year, deaths per year from this cause. Okay. It's deaths recorded throughout all cases of this particular cause of death throughout history.
Wow.
And they range from 10 to 300, but a really, really what I consider to be authentic, reliable source says that there are around 30 cases in history that have been verified as this particular cause of death.
Peter, you know how to play, right?
So we're going to do 20 questions, basically. We're trying to find the cause of death between Raul, yourself, and me, and the viewers. And David Floyd's first guess is sat on by a hippopotamus.
Sat on by a hippopotamus. No.
Were animals involved?
No.
Is this
sexual?
Not sexual in nature or involvement in any way.
No autoerotic asphyxiation?
Yeah, no.
None of that?
None of that.
Okay.
No anal beads. Sorry, Raul.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Is it work related?
No.
Jesus Santos. Good evening, brother. Struck by lightning?
Not struck by lightning.
No. Okay.
Is vehicle involved?
Vehicles are not involved.
What about food from Thomas Darling? Food involved?
Not directly, no.
Okay.
Mother Nature?
Yeah, Mother Nature in a weird way. Yeah.
Okay. Are autos involved?
Nope, no vehicles.
But Mother Nature, that's in a way.
Sort of.
It's not a disease.
Not a disease.
It's not
Not a virus. Not a
over medication.
Not a pathogen. Not medication. Not
Firearms.
No firearms.
Was it an act against another person?
No.
Okay, so is
Was it
this
violence?
No violence.
No violence.
Random accident.
I mean, technically, I guess, yeah, but not really. God, that's a tough one. I'll say no in the general sense of the word accident. No.
Okay.
Is it weather related?
Not weather related.
Okay. So let's see. Not a virus, not anything.
Is this worldwide?
Yes.
Yes. So this does happen everywhere. And it's on land.
Yeah.
Okay. Not falling out of something or
Not animal. You said animals, right? Not animal inflicted.
Yeah. No animals.
okay. Licking frogs, says Pickle.
Nope.
Trees falling on people.
Nope.
Hail death.
Nope. Hail, weather is not involved.
Quicksand.
Not quicksand.
Okay.
You said there's only 35 deaths.
Well, depending on which source you look up, they range from, some people say only 10, some people say upwards of 300. The most reliable source I found said it's around 30 in history.
Mosquitoes.
Not mosquitoes. Though I think
30 and
a lot of people die from mosquitoes every year.
It's a long time for only 30 people.
Yeah. The first known account of a case of this type was in 1641.
Whoa.
Watching a cigar podcast. Thanks, Pickle.
Is it overeating?
Not directly, no.
Not a poisonous plant.
Nope, not a poisonous plant.
Okay.
People got too stoned.
Nope.
You have
Drugs.
to deal with that every day.
Drugs are not involved.
Bro was a firefighter. Oh, let's see.
Can't be spouse because it'd be a lot more than that.
No. It's not. We have a winner.
You do? Look at that.
Thomas Darling, spontaneous combustion.
What? I just threw
So
a Hail Mary right there.
phenomenon
Wow.
known as SHC, or spontaneous human combustion, date all the way back to 1641. The phenomenon gained wider exposure in the 19th century when critics, so Charles Dickens used it to kill off one of the characters in his novel called Bleak House. Critics accused Dickens of legitimizing something that didn't exist. He pointed to research showing 30 historical cases. More recently, cases of SHC have been suspected when police and fire department officials have found burned corpses with unscathed furniture around them. The most recent case, an Irish coroner ruled that spontaneous combustion caused the 2010 death of 76-year-old Michael Faraday, whose badly burned body was discovered in a room with virtually no fire damage whatsoever. Because the human body is composed mostly of water and its only highly flammable properties are fat tissue and methane gas, the possibility of SHC being an actual phenomenon is remote. And then it goes on to say the human body has to reach, proposed cause. Okay, here. The proposed causes of the phenomenon include bacteria, static electricity, obesity, stress, and most consistently, excessive consumption of alcohol. One hypothesis came from British biologist Brian J. Ford, who in August 2012 described his experiments in the magazine New Scientist. According to Ford, a buildup of acetone in the body which can result from alcoholism, diabetes, or a specific kind of diet, can lead to spontaneous combustion.
So follows that up and says big time biohacking.
Big time biohacking.
I'm just trying to figure out how that would
happen.
It's got to get pretty hot.
Yeah.
Your body's got to get pretty hot for that to happen.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Interesting.
So
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
That's a weird one. That was this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right, it is time to reveal. Yeah, what's up?
What does he win? The cigar pack?
We don't always give stuff away, but we can give something away to Thomas. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's give something away to Thomas. He nailed it. I'm gonna give him. We're gonna give him a case. We have to give him a case.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic!
Wow,
that's awesome. Wow, man, we really appreciate that. Thomas, do me a favor. Send an email to matt@howaboutthatcigar.com. And I'll get your information and get that over to John Peter, and we will get you a lovely prize pack. And thank you, John Peter, so much for that. Really appreciate it, brother.
You're very welcome.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to tell you, you've had this before.
Spirit of Mystery Reveal. I've had this before.
Yes.
So this is a 12-year-old whiskey. I've had this before.
You've had it before.
It's really hard to nail down.
Is it? Do you like it?
I like it.
Funny thing is, you hated it before.
Shut up.
What is it? Show us, Roll. What you got? Show us the screen. What is that? Hoot and Young. Okay.
12-year.
Okay.
Matt, we had this at Sodi's. We had
I did. I didn't like it at all.
No, you didn't. You talked a lot of shit about it.
Wow.
We had it at Sodi's for a cigar mixer. Ouch. And Matt was everybody said they loved the cigar more than they loved the bourbon.
Yeah, the cigar. I thought the Hoot and Young cigars were really good. I was not a fan of the whiskey. Tonight, I like it. I don't know what to tell you.
And if you don't know, John, Raul doesn't drink, but he's got probably a bigger liquor collection than most people that do drink.
Yeah.
So he's got all kinds of bottles over there, and we do this every week with the Spirit of Mystery. He gives Matt a different type of a spirit to try on the show.
Good job on the curveball. You really threw me for a loop this time. Just goes to show, always try everything more than once before you give a final judgment on it.
Especially those anal beads.
Oh boy, he had to go.
I don't know why you had to go there.
I left it alone for a long time.
Oh.
All right, let's jump into the lightning round, brought to us by J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and The American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 113-year-old El Reloj Cigar Factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right, some quick non-cigar related questions for you, sir. If you were about to get into a fight, what would your soundtrack music be?
Into a fisticuff. You, mano y mano, one other person.
Johnny Cash.
Ooh.
It's got to be Johnny Cash. God's gonna cut you down.
Oh, I like it a lot. That's an excellent choice. That might be the first Johnny Cash.
I think so. That's a good one.
Really, really good.
Props up to you, John.
Johnny Cash.
That's my base. That's my batting walkout song. So,
Okay.
I mean, I get really, I get jazzed up with that one.
Nice.
I love it. Let's go. Let's Raul.
He's not going to answer this one. Look at him.
Oh, I suppose.
Look at him.
I suppose.
Put his face and his arms on.
You don't do fast food, do you, JP?
Not normally, but occasionally. I have two small
right.
boys, so
We're gonna throw this at you.
Okay.
What is the most underrated fast food there's out there, and what's the most overrated fast food out there?
Underrated. I'm going to go with the Whopper.
Okay.
Okay.
Burger King Whopper.
Version.
Super underrated. Overrated. I mean, I haven't tried that many. Here in Canada, we're restricted, right? So, I'm gonna go with the Big Mac.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm not a fan.
You don't get enough. I don't get enough. There's not enough meat. They're like these tiny little thin
Right.
patties.
It's all bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never a fan of the Big Mac.
I don't like the sauce on it.
Well, it's just all bread and lettuce. It's
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Not a fan. Good call.
If I want bread and lettuce, I'll order a Caesar salad.
You don't like the special sauce.
Me neither.
All right, Justin.
All right, John, you ready?
Yep.
The zombies are coming. Hurry up and hide. You get 3 people from the cigar industry to be on your zombie apocalypse survival squad. Who do you pick and why?
Oh my God! Come on. Okay. Now, keep in mind, I don't know everybody, so I'm gonna pick the people that I see.
The biohacking role, it doesn't have to be cigars. Anywhere in your industries that you are in.
No, it does have to be cigar industry.
Cigars. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be cigars. Okay.
Like I said,
Change it up for him. He ain't that
Michael Herklotz, he's a fun guy. I see him on the gram a lot. He's a character. I definitely like to hang with him.
Yeah.
great dresser. He's a great dresser.
Yeah, definitely. He'll bring the threads and the drums, so at least we have some entertainment too, right? Luciano for sure, because we're gonna need someone to keep us sane and he'll keep us grounded.
There you go.
He's good to talk to and just keep us level. And I got one more. I gotta bring my business partner Adrian, man. He's fun.
There you go. I like
go.
it.
He's fun.
I like it. You guys are gonna have a good time. That's a good group.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna have.
John will be over there trying to teach them how to roll cigars and like just keep them all
Yeah.
like
I'd honestly like to sit Luciano down with her clocks and just sit there and watch
Yeah.
him talk.
I'd want to record all those conversations too. Absolutely.
That should be a podcast right there.
right.
Oh, absolutely. We can make that happen.
Yes, you can.
All right. Let's jump into this week's notable smokables, brought to us by Don Doroteo Cigars, a brand with both purpose and passion, dedicated to creating change from within. By developing their own land, they are able to own the entire process throughout the life cycle of the plant. They methodically carry out each step, ensuring that the final product is of the finest quality. The Salt of the Earth lines, Piedra Viva and Piedra Angular, are available now at Don Doroteo Retail Partners. Visit dondoroteo.com to learn more. All right, so John Peter, each week, all of us name a cigar that we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that's been on the market for decades that we smoked for the first time in a long time, or a cigar that's brand new to the market that you've smoked for the first time ever. Now, obviously, you're smoking mostly your own stuff and probably a lot of Luciano stuff too. But if you got a chance recently to jump outside of those portfolios, is there something you smoked recently that really stood out to you?
You would think I'd be smoking my own cigars and Luciano cigars, but not yet. You know what? Yeah, Casa Cuba. That for me.
Oh yeah,
That's a great one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I'm there often, but every time I come, I hit Corona and I grab a bundle. I just love them.
Yeah, it's a good cigar. Raul, what's your notable this week?
Well, as you all know, I've been a fan of one particular cigar, and I'm not sure, and please forgive me if it's not true. It might have been one of the last ones Luciano rolled for the other company he used to work for.
Yeah.
Used to be involved with.
Yeah.
I got another box of La Patissiere PCA.
Oh, the originals.
That thing is so damn good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
When we were at your place last weekend around the fire, you smoked one of those.
Oh,
And that's, yeah, I know, because you bought like crazy amounts of boxes for that cigar. Yeah. It's a really nice one. Justin, what was your notable this week?
I'm gonna go with the Warped Nicotina.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had that one yet, and I like a lot of warped stuff. That's kind of my profile a little bit sometimes when I'm in the mood for something creamy and light and little, different. So I'm going with.
Nice. I went kind of back in time for my notable. It was the La Aurora Preferidos, the double Perfectos that come in those aluminum tubes. The green one, the Emerald Double Perfecto, and I smoked one of those. It was an old one. I mean, I probably had it for 5 or 6 years, maybe longer. Grabbed it out of my humidor a few days ago, and it's still a really good cigar. So, and fortunately, tubos, you never know. Are they going to have mold inside? But this one was in great shape and smoked really nice. So you really can't go wrong with that one. That was a nice cigar.
There's a thank you from
Thank you, Thomas.
Darling.
Oh, Thomas, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Before tonight, he did not know who John was or his company. You are why Monday nights are my stay-up nights.
Man, that means the world to us, brother. Thank you so much. Let's get into some coming attractions for the next few weeks on How About That Cigar Live. Those are brought to us by Tony Hoagland Insurance. At Hoagland Insurance, they are excited to serve and educate any new customers and give existing customers a refresher. Whether it's a business policy, auto insurance, home policy, or life insurance, if you are currently insured or just looking for a quote, Tony Hoagland and his team would love to create a personal price plan just for you. Mention How About That Cigar when you make your first appointment, and Tony will have a free cigar just for you. For more information, please call 763-421-4900 or visit ChamplinInsurance.com. All right, guys, next week on June 10th, we have Ray Kane from Cigar Clowns on the show. We are still working on a guest or a show format for the 17th. But then on the 24th of June, we have Coleman Fine from Sinistro Cigars coming on the show. First time we're going to have Sinistro on the show. We've interviewed him at the trade shows before, but never on the show before.
And Cigar Club. Yeah, both new guys.
Yeah.
We're in a month of new people. We got John Peter on. We got them.
I love it.
We're bringing it.
Absolutely love it.
And I will have somebody wonderful on the 17th. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. We're always working on it. So, John Peter, brother, thank you so much for spending your Monday evening with us, man. We really appreciate it.
Guys, thank you. Appreciate you for having me and sharing the time. Thank you.
And before we let you go, do us a favor and tell everybody where we can get a hold of you, your Instagram, your Facebook, all your socials.
You can find me everywhere through my personal accounts, John Peter Laurendi, and for Peter James, it's peterjames.co on Instagram, Peter James Co on Facebook.
Awesome, brother. Well, thank you again so much, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Take it easy, brother. God bless.
All right, viewers and listeners, guys, thank you so much for being the absolute best part of How About That Cigar Live. I got tongue-tied there for a minute. So grateful to you guys for being with us live on Facebook and YouTube and all of the other places. And of course, if you are one of our fantastic audio podcast listeners, thanks so much for making us a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. Take just a minute, click on all the buttons, the subscribe button, the like button, follow us on all the channels that you can so you don't miss anything that we have going on.
We appreciate it.
If you guys have any questions for us, you can email us on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. You'll find us at HBT Cigar. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
not bridges.
Thanks, guys. Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.